Hey, what's up, guys? It's Italian. Welcome back to Destiny. Today, Bungie did a reveal of their first strike out of evidently a large handful of new strikes and remade strikes inside of the Take a King. Of course, there's going to be some of the old PlayStation exclusives remade and takenified with some new stuff in them. They haven't really revealed much about that yet. But there was a stream today. I don't have my own footage of the new strike as of yet, so I thought I would run around and apparently break my fucking ankles and die. I should not have died from that fall, game. Anyways, today's reveal left me with some mixed emotions. I'm going to start off with the stuff that I liked, because it doesn't really, I guess it doesn't really matter what I start with, because people are going to call me a Bungie sympathizer and a sellout, no matter what I say. I have an idea. How about if you're one of those people that's needlessly angry at everything for, like, no reason whatsoever, without thinking logically, or, like, trying to see both sides of the coin, then fucking, alright, this first part of the video is for you. Man, that reveal sucked! Fruit looked awkward. It was fucking short. That boss looked too easy. I hate it. Also, my dinner last night was cold. That was Bungie's fault. I don't like the new weapons. The sword was not sword enough. Alright, guys, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye. Leave the video now. Alright, they gone? Okay, they look gone. Okay, let's talk about what really bothered me. Most of the reveal, Mr. Fruit was good. I liked Mr. Fruit. It was his first time. Oh, look at that. Defined Hero has joined me. Or was that? No, that's my PlayStation party. Okay, anyways, Mr. Fruit was good. I thought he did a great job. I thought he was charming. I thought he did a good job with the Bungie guys. I think he played well, and I thought he was funny. He was very fruity, represented Fruit Nation. Not like fruity, not like Fruity, but like, he was Mr. Fruit. He was what I expected. It was great. I love Fruit. Mr. Fruit, the majority of the stream, teased us with the sword heavy that he had. Motherfucker. Brought up heavy ammo several times, brought up his heavy many times, showed the sword at the beginning of the stream. We didn't get to see the sword. I thought they were going to tease us. Then he was going to show us the sword. And at the end of the stream, near it, he was like, oh, I've got this heavy weapon and I'm going to use it. But they didn't go to his point of view. And that sort of pissed me off, because, like, I wanted to see gameplay from the sword's point of view, because I want to know whether it's going to be first person or third person or what. A lot of people in my chat think it's going to be first person. I think it's going to be third person. And we got no confirmation of it. I hate it. Wanted to know, Fruit. What's the deal with the sword? I'm sure other YouTubers got fucking gameplay up with the sword, but I'm just giving you my thoughts about fucking goddamn this reveal. So, first off, I feel like the big sword unveiling was lackluster, and it left me wanting more. Next up, about the stream that I didn't really super mega care for, was the return of the Goliath tank in the middle part, though they did say that the middle portion of this particular strike has different variations. I think they said there was like 3 different variations of it, so each time you play it, this middle part of the strike and whatever you fight in the middle will change. So I don't think it's always going to be the Goliath tank. That's what I sort of got from it, but I feel like they sort of tried to recreate their success with the Shadow Thief strike, which is, in my opinion, one of the more interesting strikes in Destiny. But I felt like it sort of played me too to that strike a whole lot. So the rebringing of that particular encounter really didn't do much for me. I didn't really care for that. But I do like that that middle portion of the strike can rotate between a few different things. Maybe not truly random, but just a few different things that it can be in that middle portion of the strike. So that's cool, but Goliath tank, not exactly thrilled about. Moving on, they showed artifacts, but they showed some basic bitch artifacts. The artifacts were a little lackluster, like creating orbs when you kill stuff with melee and grenades and things like that. I'm interested in seeing what legendary artifacts will add to your character. Artifacts are a new gear slot that add to intellect, discipline, strength, things like that. Just another statting for your character, but I don't feel like they showed off good artifacts. I feel like they showed off very basic artifacts, and hopefully artifacts will do a little bit more than drop an orb if you kill something with melee, because I don't think that's necessarily a very interesting perk. I kind of am expecting some interesting stuff. So it's clear that they're holding information and surprises close to their chest, which I understand why they would do that. They don't want to, you know, give away all the secrets and reveal everything right now, which is smart on Bungie's behalf, but it still leaves you wanting a little bit more, especially after last week's reveal, which was like mega hype. Look at this shit, bright and shiny, get this, get that, get this. I thought last week's reveal was just a big old info explosion and hype-a-palooza, as where this week's stream was like almost there, and it just makes you curious. You know, it kept you wanting. There was no big, wow, oh my god, holy shit. There was none of that in this week's reveal, which was kind of a bummerino. So that's my overall, I think those dislikes on the stream are warranted. I don't think I'm being unreasonable. So now I want to talk about what I do like. The atmosphere on the Dreadnought looks fun. The strike itself, going back to the middle portion where it does rotate, looks pretty cool. Hopefully there will be some, it'll be more than just a fucking tank there. You know, I'm very interested to see what other kinds of encounters get brought into there. I do love that there's new gear slotting, and artifacts are cool. I'm just left a little bit wanting on those to see what else we could do with artifacts. What I really like about the strike was the boss. The boss had interesting mechanics. I felt that it was interesting that they decided to load level 40 characters into a level 36 strike, considering that it would make the strike look much shorter and easier than it would be on level or on Nightfall or on Heroic. I feel like that was probably a poor choice on Bungie's behalf. Maybe that was an intentional choice, so it wasn't spent with too much wiping, a la the Prison of Elders reveal, because there was no preparation for that. For the Prison of Elders reveal, Broman was sort of just like tossed into the mix on that reveal. I think they just didn't want to have another repeat where they couldn't complete the activity, perhaps, but unfortunately it had a reverse effect where it just made the whole thing look kind of simple and short. But I sat back and I looked at the boss fight, and I was very, very excited about the boss fight. The boss fight basically was, it was called the Bond Brothers, and the Bond Brothers are two Cabal commanders. One of them is offensive and jumps around and flies around and melees you, and then when you take enough help off of him, he like hides. And then the other one comes out and he has like a shield and he's all defensive and he shoots big old lasers on the ground, and there's markers on the ground for where the lasers are going to be, and you got to dodge the lasers, and they come out at one at a time, and then they come out together, and if you kill one, then he will sort of like fuse with the other brother and send his like jetpack or shield over. They only showed it with the jetpack guy dying first, but he'll send his jetpack over to his brother and help him out. It's a Romeo and Juliet fight. Basically, Romeo and Juliet fights, it's intended for you to kill both of the enemies, like either together or one right after the other, so they don't enrage or one doesn't become too powerful. I can imagine that in a Nightfall situation, the Bond Brothers could be pretty rough if you allow them to bond and become a single boss. I would have liked to have seen, if they are allowed to bond, maybe whichever one is left gets like a fourth of his life back or something. I also am very curious to see what happens when you kill the shield guy first and see how his bond works, though there's probably gameplay of it out there. I didn't get to go to Bungie because fucking I don't want to fly. I hate flying. Yeah, man, so that's pretty much it, dude. I'm really excited about the boss fight. It looked interesting. It looked easy because they chose to do it at level 36 as level 40 characters. Which was disappointing, and I think not a good call to do it that way. But what it does make me excited about is the large handful of strikes that are left to be seen inside of the Take a King. Are all of the strike bosses and the strikes themselves gonna have bosses with actual mechanics rather than just being big lumps of health? Is my main concern, because if we end up with a strike playlist that has, 6 or so strikes or more, that have bosses with real mechanics, real fun mechanics that make you have to think, or the fights change, whatever. If all of the boss fights inside the Take a King strikes are on the same level of mechanics as the Bond Brothers, and they are actually difficult on level, then I think the strike playlist could be very interesting. So these are a lot of what ifs. These are a lot of, I don't know what's going to happen. I believe that Bungie would try to make at least all of the new strikes on par with the Bond Brothers and what we saw today. Like I said, looked very short and easy at level 36 versus 40, but I think as a Nightfall and a weekly, it could be very, very interesting, and maybe if they make adjustments to the strike playlist, it could be very, very interesting. Very curious to see what the rest of these bosses are going to do, and if they're going to live up to what the Bond Brothers have done so far. You can check all this out. I'm pretty sure Bungie will have the reveal on their YouTube soon. I know that Datto has a video up with the Bond Brothers. I just wanted to give you my opinions on the strike itself. And yeah, I think that'll about wrap it up. All right, guys, I want to know what you thought. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I've given a pretty balanced opinion on the stream overall. Still very, very excited for Take a King. You know, if they're making these kinds of changes and improvements to strike bosses, I'm very interested to see what the next raid boss or bosses are going to be like inside of King's Fall. Because if they're increasing the difficulty and complexity of strike bosses, I feel like we could be in store for something really special. Hopefully, we'll see. But as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you back inside of Destiny.